Hello, I am back. Sorry for the absence. The last 2 weeks were full of school projects and such, but I have finally managed to come back. If you have missed me, of course. So, what do I think about Dragonflight? Due to being a bit late to the expansion hype train, I can't promise to add any mind-blowing analysis for this video due to the limited amount of information we have. But the thing is, I have read every interview so far, and Blizzard's change in philosophy, especially in the case of being more open and willing to communicate, filled me with hope. The absence of borrowed power and infinite grind were enough to get me hyped. But without further ado, let's get into the lore part and why I liked what Blizzard showed us, despite it wasn't what I was expecting. To be honest, I was expecting a darker tone for 10.0. You know what I have been speculating for months, but let's summarize it. I was expecting the return of the Black Empire led by Nuzot, plus a complete world revamp in Cataclysm style, and in this scenario, Dragon Isles would not be the center, but the hub of the expansion. That did not happen, but what I got instead also excited me a lot, and the thing is, I was happy when the announcement stream ended. The zones look awesome, the return to the old roots, titans, dragons, and exploration sounds awesome. I liked certain parts of Shadowlands, mainly because of the Natrism, but also the darker tone of the Maw and Chains of Domination patch. Sim, after the Legion Battle for Azeroth Shadowlands arc finished by the dev team, which in my opinion weren't effective on the already established lore as you would think, they decided to first ground the story with Dragonlance. The most important detail about the story of Dragonlance is it will actually be the first expansion of Steve Denizer who, thanks to some content creators, put on target because of the Shadowlands story. We can talk about it in detail in another video, but long story short, I think the previous lore arc was mostly written by the old writer team with Alex Afrasiabi in charge. Now, let's talk about the actual lore about the Dragon Isles. First, this expansion gave some Mists of Pandaria vibes, wasn't it? An island kept hidden until a certain point, exploration, gorgeous zones, and Titan plus Old God lore in the background. What? Old Gods? No one mentioned Old Gods. There is no Old God lore in Dragon Isles, just like how there was none in Battle for Azeroth. Remember? The moment I saw the BFA trailer, I thought it would inevitably end up with Nuzot, but nobody gave me a damn that time. But I turned out to be right. Now I am saying it again. This expansion, if not end up with Old Gods, will have a strong feeling of the Void and the cultists of Twilight's Hammer working in the background. Why? Well, most of the time I make my lore predictions through basic Warcraft math and they turn out to be true. Just like how I predicted the entire team of patch 9.1 back in the day, which you can find in the description. So, according to this very basic math of Warcraft lore, if there are dragons, there are old gods. Black dragons, direct ties with Nuzot, and we will also make an entire why you should not trust Vrathion at all and why he could be working for Nuzot video. There will be a zone dedicated to each flight, and one of them will have direct connection with the Emerald Dream, which Tyrande will be involved in the story as it was confirmed. Plus, one of the two remaining aspects, Nozdormu, is meant to become Murozond at some point, and as it was explained in a recent interview, this knowledge puts a heavy burden in Nozdormu's mind, and he cannot see all timelines clearly. And about the red dragons, well,
The vassal of life disguises treachery. Beware the eyes of greed.
This can very well be referring to Alexstrasza, who thought that she should have never declared the Age of Mortals back at the end of Cataclysm. What happened in the Age of Mortals? Two faction wars, one was somewhat minor in Mist of Pandaria, and a major battle in Battle for Azeroth. Nisharj and Nuzot set free, in a sense. Burning Legion invaded Azeroth, caused the world being stabbed by a giant fucking titan sword, a world tree burned, sky was shattered. So yeah, I would not be surprised if it turns out to be the mortals have pissed off Alexstrasza a bit. And
5 lanterns now darkened. The flame they seek will light the Master's way.
dragons will be in search to regain their power, and this search will be the final key to turn before the grand scheme of the void comes to a conclusion. Plus, the elemental uprising in Dragon Isles and Titan War, you get the inevitable old god effect, basic formula. So, these are my first impressions after being a little bit late to the party, but we have lots to talk about. For example, who could be the final boss of the expansion? Why should you not trust Wrathian? Why Dragonflight feels like vanilla, but in a good way? And what could be the connection between Azeroth Awakening and Tyrolt? But for now, see you in the next video. Soon. Bye.